Hello, good morning and welcome to a new video, and today we're at the National Motorcycle Museum, Birmingham, and we're here for Museum Open Day. So if you'd like to come along with us, welcome. We've come straight into the main stage area and look what we've found.
I think that's going to be started up in a bit, which will be interesting.
That is Mr. Allen Millyard's Viper 8-litre motorcycle.
Dodge Viper engine in it.
Yeah. Wow, what a machine, eh? We'll take you a closer look around it. Before it gets busy, we're here quite early this morning. The engineering is done to that. It's quite incredible. Hey, look at those front brakes. I mean, look at the size of those front forks. That's my hand by comparison there. Has it got a gearbox?
No, it's direct drive. I changed the sprockets to whatever I'm doing.
So that engine's got enough torque to pull it from 0 up to 200 miles an hour?
Reach your arms out. It's got 225 to 6 steering.
Yeah.
6,225.
Yeah.
Reach your arms out. It's faster than the Fireblade.
Wow. Is there any chance I could get a photo with you by your bike?
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Fantastic.
Do you want me to take one?
If Alan doesn't mind. Carol, there's a very, very special bike over here. This, guys, is the 2021 Crighton CR700W Rotary.
This is going to be started up as well, isn't it, I think?
Yeah.
The list.
A dent in the tank.
That's what So we just dropped it.
Oh, I don't know. I suspect it's had some serious testing. But this is an incredible fast bike. And it's got the latest generation rotary engine in it. And is it Brian Crighton?
Yeah.
Brian Crighton, the man behind this, the genius behind these rotary engines. But, you know, he's the main man, the driving force behind this motorbike.
Yeah.
And it's a seriously quick bike, which I think you can buy. You can order one of these. It's not a road bike, I don't think. It's obviously been at Cadwell. Desmosedici RR,
like
standing for R.
200 brake horsepower. 1000 cc.
Yeah. We knew a guy that took one of these to the Isle of Man, didn't we?
Yeah, we followed him.
We followed him.
It was the right thing.
Super loud, wasn't it?
It was fine when we got it moving, but God, it was horrible in traffic.
Sorry, no.
In fact, he was struggling to keep it going in traffic, wasn't he?
Yeah. It
He
was
didn't want
running a bit rough, but he wanted to put enough miles on it to get the free service that included a full engine rebuild, didn't it? So.
And he did it.
Yeah. Clocked enough mileage to get his free rebuild. Hopefully, guys, we'll come back in here when they start starting some of these up.
Yeah.
Riding in the TT races. Easier than Oxcom's beating all the top-notch aces. I've been riding all my life. I started quite small. I've ridden Birmingham tankers, scooters and all. Won't see me riding in the TT races. With big gears in reverse, the other way round, I'll finish first. So come along and see me riding in the TT races.
Lovely, thank you.
Agostini.
Really? Where's Agostini's then?
This side here.
He's on this side, is he? Let's have a look.
I go here.
Oh my goodness.
I go Maria Costello.
Right, lovely,
yeah.
one of my heroes.
Nick Jeffries.
Yeah.
Wow, yes.
John McGuinness.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Michael Dunlop.
Fabulous collection, isn't it?
Bruce Anstey.
Wonderful. Lovely.
Yeah, it's a brilliant bike.
It is.
Really love what you're doing anyway.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Great to see you at all these
Very
events.
nice. Thank you very
Long may you
much.
keep
Nice to
doing
meet
them.
you. Cheers.
All right,
Thank you.
cheers.
Thanks for coming.
You're welcome. Terrific guy, eh? It's a Buell. Very unusual at the front, isn't it? With the
Yeah, they've got the carbon fibre frame to it.
Eric Buell did a lot with the old Harley Davidson motor to turn them into race bikes. Big V twins. We are at the home of the National Motorcycle Museum, which is British bikes. All British bikes, even though you'll see some Japanese bikes on show here, the actual museum is all British. Kind of the bikes I really want to show you on this are the Norton Rotaries, because the engines in these have got a big connection to that Crighton motorcycle that hopefully we'll hear started up later. Steve Spray's Terry Nation. Incredible noise they made, and obviously the engines are unlike anything else out there. A really strange exhaust system down in there, look. It's a pity we didn't see more rotary engine racing, isn't it? Really all early Nortons here. 1907, 6 horsepower Norton twin. What a beaut. What a beaut. Belt drive. It's like they carried a spare belt.
It's
It's like the equivalent of us carrying a spare chain,
Yeah, but the belt, the way it's made, looks like a chain, doesn't it?
Yeah, leather belt, like riveted together. Yeah, 89 to 91 RCW 588. If we want to go back a few years, you've only got to turn around, haven't you? Look at that beautiful BSA 500cc 1957 Clipper export off-roader. Beautiful, isn't it? Really unusual. Really
so
beautiful
many
example.
bikes to see here. You're kind of spoiled for choice, aren't you,
we
really?
can't show you all these bikes that are here in this museum.
Yeah.
It's impossible, but we're just going to try and bring you a taster of what's here, and hopefully show you what's happening on the open day.
Museum's definitely worth a visit, though.
Yeah, the museum is worth a visit on its own.
A winter day out, it's quite impressive.
What is that?
That's amazing. It's like some sort
That's
of jet bike.
Jet bike.
Designed, developed, constructed and piloted by Richard Rocketman Brown. That looks terrifying.
It looks absolutely terrifying.
You've got to be a special sort of person to be sat on that, haven't you?
Well, we talked to a guy that built the jet engine bike at Prescott. What was his name? Can you remember? Zeph.
Oh, Zeph.
Zeph Eisenberg, who unfortunately
he
died as a result of racing that bike. So it is a dangerous occupation.
Yeah.
And it's a real shame, because he was a really interesting fellow.
Talented guy.
Talented guy. Yeah, very interesting collection of bikes they've got here. You could literally spend a day looking at just the bikes in the museum.
Oh, I like the copper-coloured one.
Royal Enfield twin.
Look at that. That's beautiful. It's like a work of art, that is, isn't it?
Wow.
Copper-nob.
That is a 1929 Charter Lee Brooklands Special Copper-nob. Even coppered the
beautiful, isn't it?
spokes.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the engines in these Douglas. You know what BMW do with the boxer engine and put the horizontally opposed across the frame? Well, that's fitted in longitudinally. Look, the piston at the back, piston at the front.
It's a bit tidier.
Yeah, the only disadvantage with that is it makes the bike. You can't see how long that bike is.
Long, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a long way from the seat to the handlebars, isn't it? You need to be quite tall to reach.
A short arse isn't going to ride that bike. So that is the limitation of that sort of design.
I suppose when they started out designing these things, they try all sorts, don't they?
Yeah, well, that's why there's virtually every engine configuration in this museum. Just room after room, isn't there?
Yeah.
Fabulous bikes. Fabulous British bikes. So it's kind of an antidote to all those Japanese bikes I was showing everybody at the...
Stafford Bike Show,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Certainly a lot of them.
People would think I was obsessed by 70s and 80s Japanese, so...
Looks like you've got some 70s and 80s British stuff here.
Yeah. This is the point where, unfortunately, Triumph are losing ground to all the Japanese bikes.
Competition was pretty stiff there,
Competition was starting to get really stiff in the 70s. Is that like the test bike?
Yeah. I mean, it's the fair bit of running. I mean, we need to do some more.
Yeah.
Because we need a real top rider on it, you know, to really push it. But, I mean, Guy Martin's rode it. And everybody that's rode it.
I thought he was quite impressed with it, wasn't he?
He was really impressed. But Guy thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
All he kept doing was swearing and saying.
I mean, what sort of power is that? Is it making? Have you actually had it on the dyno?
Well, at the back wheel, which is what to me counts, it's just over 200 horsepower, you know. So.
Really?
But the actual, if you was to measure it directly at the crank, it'd be like 220 horsepower.
Yeah. And what sort of weight? What sort of weight?
The whole bike, it's 130 kilos.
That is so light, isn't it?
It's really good.
Immense. Yeah, immense.
And is that the engine that's in it?
That's it. Yeah,
because it looks a really tidy, small unit, doesn't it?
You look at a big 1,000 Japanese bike.
Well, I've got an MT10 with 1,000cc in line 4, and it's massive compared to that.
And you can pick that up. You can carry that yourself.
So that's got to keep the weight down to start with, hasn't it?
And it keeps central gravity down as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a unique thing, really. It's a very low inertia engine, so a lot of the power is in accelerating the big crank and all that, you know. Cause that sort of thing, you know, if you had a rotary and a four-stroke, exactly the same power. The rotary bike without accelerating, just because of the inertia of the engine.
Yeah, you've not got overcome all the internals.
Yeah.
I mean, you're running all the cam chains and everything in a four-stroke, aren't you?
Yeah. So, of course, because the bike's 130 kilos, I mean, if it was racing, obviously you've got less weight to stop. I mean, the other bikes are like sort of close to, you know, sort of 170 or more kilos or something like that. My idea was behind it. Obviously, I go back to the days of the two-stroke 500 two-strokes. They were 130 kilos.
Yeah.
And they were fantastic things to ride.
Yeah.
And I tried to make something that was some of the. Although it's expensive to buy it, it's still a lot cheaper than trying to get hold of one of them. They give you at least that fee. In fact, it's quicker than what those have been, really.
Yeah.
It's something that somebody could own that they could have some really good fun on. There's no servicing to do on the engine at all.
Really?
Hopefully we'd do a complete season of racing without doing anything.
God, that's unusual for a race bike, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, do you still have a problem with tip seals and that?
We've never had any problem with tip seals. I think it's the RO8, the NSU RO80 that caused the problem with the seals. They had problems with them, and I think that's where they got it from. But it was funny enough, it was only the people that drove them really slow that had trouble. People that crashed them had no problem at all. It's because they used to seize up the seals, you know. Through running too slow.
Right.
All right. So what was the background in Norton? How did you get involved in Norton?
Well, what happened with Norton is really, I used to race anyway. I used to race 50s and 125s.
Yeah.
In fact, I was 50 champion for 3 years. And after 50, you never think so now, I put a lot of weight on. But that was a four-stroke Honda CR700W, which at that time, when I had that, the two-strokes were doing all the winning then.
Yeah.
But I did a lot of work on it, did my own cams and all sorts, and I was actually beating the two-strokes then. And I did an awful lot of work learning about engines, how the engines work, you know.
Yeah.
And trying to understand how gas flow went through ports and that. I did stupid things like connect a hose pipe to the inlets and connect to a tap, and looking at the flow with the pedals and getting absolutely soaked. And playing around putting filler in and seeing what it did. The shape of how it flows. Because you can steer it with a regular shape. So I did a lot of that. So anyway, what happened is a friend of mine that was working for Norton, because he was a prototype, and he turned up at our house one of the nights with a prototype that he took home, and he said, have a go on that, have a go on it. And I go in and I thought, this is fantastic, I thought, what a fantastic race bike, this is like, you know. So I said, you'd have to get me a job there. So they got me a job.
Just like that.
They got me a job in the service department, and I was looking after the police bikes, demonstrators.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't sell to the general public at that time. They can only sell to the armed forces or the police force.
Right.
So I was given the task of looking after the police bikes for them to
So
test on them.
then you got your hands on one of those engines and started to mess with it.
There was one had been in a crash, and it had been lying in the corner of the factory for a long time.
Yeah.
And I said, can I have this bike? And they wouldn't let me have it. And then eventually I got drove them mad. I said, it won't cost you anything. I'll do it at my own time at night.
Yeah.
Let me have a go at doing something with the engine, because because at the time 86 horsepower was the best thing. And I said, I'm convinced I can get something like 120 horsepower out of this bike, this engine. So they let me have the engine in the end, and did a lot of work. And one of the nights we put it on the dyno, and believe it or not, it did 120 horsepower. I was quite surprised it did do it. So I said, look, now we've done that, let me make a bit of a hack of a race bike, just something that we could just see what sort of speed we get out of.
Yeah.
That's what that bike is over there. That one over the end, that grey one.
Yeah.
That's
the one with the number 1 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was built out of a crashed police bike, really.
Really? I'll go round and get some pictures of that in a bit.
And we took that to Myra.
Yeah.
And it's funny, really, because I don't think they're really meant to have race bikes going around Myra, but the guy let us go on. I don't think he realised how quick it was going to be.
Yeah.
And he let us go around Myra, and funny enough, there's some Jaguars doing some high-speed testing around there.
Yeah.
And this guy said to Bob Rowley, just be careful, just look behind you every time you go around the corners here, because there's some really fast Jaguars coming, Anyway, he went up, and the policeman had got a radar gun.
Yeah.
And he was the bloke that was running Myra was by there with us watching the bike, and the bloke had this going whoosh, and he. Bloody hell, 170 mile an hour. And this bloke from running the thing, he said, "Pardon, sons." And he got on his radio and said, "Can you get those slow Jaguars off the tree?"
Getting in the way.
They're in the way of this bike.
Yeah, and this place says, "I've never seen my radar come down that high before." So after that, then I said, "Look, let's do a proper race bike." And basically, they still wasn't interested. I spat my dummy out and I left Norton, actually. But they asked me back because I was involved a lot with the electronic side of it and all that.
Yeah.
So they asked me back, and I said, well, I'll come back, but the proviso is you're going to let me make a proper race bike.
Yeah.
And that's what that one is there, that red, silver, blue.
Right.
All right.
That is,
one over there, yeah.
That's the first. Well, you don't know whether it's exactly that one, but that's the first bikes we did. And then I think we turned up at Darley Moor with it. Nobody knew really anything about what it was.
You were there?
I was there that day.
Right.
Yeah, the bike hadn't been
Was
finished.
his son in Malcolm Heath, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Rode it?
it hadn't even got a fairing bottom on it. We hadn't done
Really?
a fairing bottom for it. And I think he finished third, the first time we ever run it, something like that. He got a bit of a misfire on one thing or another. But anyway, a couple of 3 races after that, we won 1 or 2 races, And then obviously we had a bit of we had 3 of them going. And what happened is that we was trying to get sponsorship, obviously.
Yeah.
And we invited JPS people there from Imperial Tobacco because we wanted to try and get some sponsorship. And they were at Brands Apps, the last meeting.
Yeah.
Steve Spray, time bookmaster, couldn't ride the bike for whatever reason, and I knew about Steve Spray, and he was doing pretty good on the RG500.
They're on the fairing now.
So I let Steve Spray have a go on it, and he'd seen the bike, but he'd never rode it. Then he went out for practice and pulled up, and I went up to him and I said, right, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to adjust? He said, just put petrol in it, don't do anything. And he went out and won both races, and the crowd went absolutely mad.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
And the Imperial Tobacco over there, and that's how we got the sponsorship.
Right.
Yeah.
So the rest is history then. We obviously won the championship in '89.
Yeah.
And there we are with that. Okay, well, this is the inlet port, this is the exhaust port, obviously. The rotor, and then what you've got to remember with this is that the rotor and the shaft is the 3-to-1 gear ratio on it.
Yeah.
So 1 turn of this is only a third of the turn of this.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's basically like a piston engine at top this centre at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's turning round. This is the inlet port. It's open. It's drawing intake in.
Yeah.
That's like bottom dead centre of a piston engine, if you like. It's then compressing it, coming around here.
Yeah.
The plug's fire, which obviously drives this rotor around. So that's the expansion side of it.
Yeah.
And then there the exhaust port open, so that's the exhaust opened, if you like.
Yeah.
And evacuated there. And then obviously it just carries on going. But if you look at that, that's exhausting. That's just on the power stroke and that's on the intake.
Yeah.
So there's three things happening all at the same time. So that's why it's so smooth.
We've got Henry here. We've got Sam Upgrode, Allen Millyard, Guy Willison, Alan, and we've got also a very special needs star guest, Steve Parrish. Oh yeah! I love it. Hey. I'm getting off. Oh, Alan, when you open the throttle on that, that's not you pushing it from side to side, is it? That's the torque.
That's the torque reactions.
That's it. Yeah.
So when it's off the stand, if I do it again.
Yeah, go on. Watch this, guys. That's not right. Do you feel that when you're riding it?
As soon as you're moving, you don't feel it at all. When you ride, you never pull the clutch and then rev the throttle, unless you can use it to your advantage if you go around corners. The torque reaction's massive. The crankshaft's like that long.
Yeah, it's extraordinary.
But when you've been on the back, it's dead smooth in a straight line.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I could be sitting there rolling up, do you know what I mean? Whatever, do you know what I mean? It's fun.
More importantly, I've still got that jumper.
Oh yeah. You still fit it.
There's special toilets for the likes of you.
So, and that was a year ago here, the first time you showed this bike and showed it off to the public and started it up. Are they in production?
No, not yet. The first ones will be going out like February, early March, something like that.
Give him a round of applause. Thanks, Brian. I'm being serious. These are very, very loud. So if anybody would like earplugs, stick your hand up, please. There'll be somebody passing them around. If not, get your things in your ears, please.
Surprising how many people have come on bikes.
Yeah,
because there was about 3 parked over in that corner when we got here this morning. Hey, what is this thing in the car park? What is that? That's a Hesketh. Hesketh on the road, Carol.
Blimey.
Someone's actually got a Hesketh on the road. Yeah. There you go. Looks like there's some weight in that bike, doesn't there? Yeah. Good to see it's being ridden, even on a wet day. CBX 1000 parked here. Yeah, this is about a classic motorcycle museum, but this is a modern Indian interpretation of the old BSA Goldstar. What do you classic owners think of it? You ain't gonna like that radio. Really great place though this is. If you get a chance to come on a non-open day when it's not so busy, you could spend hours and hours just wandering around. New Imperials, Douglas, with like the boxer type engine in down there. Stevens of Wolverhampton. I can't believe how many British manufacturers there were.
Yeah, lots of small.
New Hudson from 1933. Panther. For those that thought Rally only made push bikes. Clear the traffic, that will.
It would, wouldn't it?
And that. Now, we've got over here some Brough Superiors. Look so much nicer than the modern Brough Superiors, don't they?
Oh, something special.
I mean, I just don't get the modern ones. I'm sorry, but these are gorgeous.
I think the museum's got a special deal on baking trays. Every bike's got one.
Every bike's got a baking tray underneath. Catch the oil. Golden Dream. From 1939. Golden Dream show model. Lee Francis. God, how old's the Lee Francis?
Lots of them are based around Coventry and Birmingham area, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very local to this area.
A big manufacturing area.
That is a 1913 Lee Francis, and that engine made 3¼ horsepower. Brilliant.
That's 1902 Humber, so that's the same age as that earliest Triumph they found.
The earliest Triumph that Dick Shepherd's now got. Yeah, so same age.
Very similar.
It's like the transition between a
push bike and a motorbike, isn't it?
Push bike and motorbike, yeah. It's the very early ones. How about a Montgomery?
Beautiful.
And we saw a Hesketh out in the car park.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
There's another one here, and I think I prefer the colour of the one that's outside.
I think I prefer the one in the car park, yes. Yes, if I was having one, I'd definitely...
Apparently that's a Hesketh Vampire V-twin Super Tourer, which I think that is out there, isn't it?
I think it just looks like the same bike, yeah.
Right, guys, hope you've enjoyed the glimpse around the National Motorcycle Museum Open Day 2022. We've had a great time, haven't we?
Had a good day, yeah.
It's been a good day.
Lots going on, lots of people here.
Yeah, so hope you enjoy the video. And it's goodbye from us.
Yeah, bye.
Cheerio. Bye-bye.